So here we are with the Genie GS-3384 with the starter issue. So I'm going to go over real quick on how to replace the starter. I got a good one right here. And this one's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So what you're going to want to do is unhook the battery very first thing. That way you don't have none of these hot wires arcing on anything. But there's pretty much one bolt or nut here, one nut right here that's unhooking all your wiring. You got a bolt in there and a bolt down here that's going to take the starter off. So we're going to go ahead and grab some tools real quick, and we're going to remove the battery cable, and then we're going to remove these two nuts right here, this one and this one. Get all the cables off, make sure you tie them up and keep track of where the cables go. Then we're going to remove these two bolts right here and pop this starter out, pop a new starter in, and let's see if that solves our issue. So far we've checked oil, obviously we checked our coolant, and we checked all of our relays right here and fuses. Everything's good. You'll have your setup right there, so that tells you which fuse and relay does what. And so let's get this starter going, get this popped out. This one looks fairly new, so I'm wondering, if it's just a crap starter. So let's get the starter out, let's get this new one in, and let's test and see what happens after that. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. If you don't like me, but you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. If you do like me and you don't like what I'm doing, please subscribe. So yeah, let's get this one going. Let's try to get this unit back up and running. First step is to unhook the battery. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna undo one side of the battery. That way nothing's getting power whenever I unhook those wires over there. Last thing we need is arcing out some stuff, blowing relays, blowing fuses, maybe catching fire. You don't want to do that, so always try to work safe. Always unhook everything that could go wrong. So once you get that unhooked, we're going to go over to the starter and we're going to start taking that off. So this is where I start right here. 13mm nut right there. Let's pop this nut off, get these wires out of my way so I can kind of see what I'm doing. It's a big bunch of wires, so let's pop this off. Okay, get your washer set her aside. So you're gonna pop this bunch of wires off. Always remember to keep track which wires go where. So there's already a zip tie right there, so I'm just gonna keep these bunched up in the zip tie. That way I know all these wires go there. Okay, we got that isolated. Now we're gonna come to this little screw with the little nut on it right there. And we're gonna pop that one off. Should be a 10mm. There it is, nice 10mm. And you're just gonna take that one loose. Okay, so now if you notice, we got 4 wires to the big post, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the big post, 2 wires it looks like to the little post. So we'll just kind of hang these down here where they go. So now we know the 2 little wires go on the little post, all the 4 big wires go on the big post, and there's that. Next thing we're gonna do is pull out your 15mm, and you're gonna come over here and you're gonna hit these 2 bolts right here. Okay. Once you get those, get that bottom one down in here. So I know it's hard to see with all these wiring everywhere. It's oddly loose, to be honest with you. So get that bottom one out. Come back up to the top one. Get that top one out. And then by then, it should be free. Give it a little wiggle. Pop her out. And there's your starter popped out. So let's double check, make sure all our wires are still where we want them. Yep, 4 and 2. Take your new starter right here. Easiest way to do this is pop these bolt or nuts off right here before you set it up in there. That way you have all the room you need. Okay, once you got all the room you need, push your new starter. See the dowel pin right there, dowel pin on the bottom, dowel pin on bottom. Those go in the holes right there. That holds the starter where it needs to be. So let me see if I can finagle this thing into home. I got a wire on my way. Okay, once you get a little wiggle wiggle, get your starter up in its happy home. There's the starter in its happy home. And start your bolts back in. Top bolt started. Let's get the bottom bolt started. Bottom bolt started. Pull out your ratchet. Make sure you switch directions because you don't ever want to set it on there going the wrong way. It's really annoying. And you want to make sure these are good and tight. Good and tight. German word of the day. Good and tight. Okay, then come back over here, hit the bottom one. Get the bottom one good and tight. Now remember when we took it off, we took the 2 little ones off last. So we're gonna put those back on first. Which is right here, the 2 little ones. So get 1 and 2 on. And then come down here, grab your good little bolts and washer, or nut and washer, my bad. Sometimes I talk weird, say the wrong words, but you guys understand. Get that one snug, hand tight, snug. You don't want to over tighten these because you might break the starter solenoid. Then you pull out your 10mm again and snug it up. Don't over tighten, just good and tight. And then you take your 4 wires that you had all sitting aside. 3 and number 4. So then we come back down here and get your good nut and washer. Put that one on the top. Make sure you're not cross-threading nothing. And that's going to be your 13mm. So switch your socket over, get the 13mm up on there, and get this one. Just remember, snug, not too tight, but not loose where they move. Tighten them too much, you break the plastic on that solenoid right there. And so that's good and snug right about there. It's nice and snug. So then you come back over here, and we're gonna rehook up our battery cable. And we're gonna see if this solves our issue with the no start. Customers said that they couldn't get it to do anything. So let's just double check this real quick. Let me grab my trusty dusty wrench to tighten our battery connection back down. Always make sure you have a good battery connection. A lot of times, bad battery connection overheats the starter and all that, and all the wiring starts burning up. So let's test it out now. We got the starter in, we got power. I want to go on ground mode, system ready, and just like that, Sounds like she's good to go now. These things don't like to be pressed too many times in a row, so. Give her a second. Well, she don't like that, so let's turn it on gas mode. And there it is. I hope this is helpful for someone. If you guys enjoyed or if you learned anything, don't forget to like, comment,